I've been thinking about how to grow my medical courier business, and it was kind of hard because I've tried everything. I've tried to retain clients, I would try to grow clients, and I was like, why am I stuck? And until I realized, I started doing research. I started really asking people around, and I started doing a lot of reading. I'm talking about real reading, not like read some sort of crazy internet blogs, whatever. No, some real readings. I mean, books. And I realized that if you want to actually retain clients as a medical courier business, you got to have a steady plan. You got to have a plan. You just want to execute. So the first thing I did was, and I'm very happy. I've tried a lot of tactics, and nowadays I can be really happy to say that those tactics are working. They are effective, and I was able to grow my medical courier business by like 38% in 6 months. That's really great in terms of new clients. That's kind of good. So the first thing I did was I try to be HIPAA compliant regarding medical deliveries. So the thing is, I realized if you are delivering like if you deliver medication or anything medical, you gotta be really strong on the regulations, because at the federal level or at the state level, you have a lot of interactions when it comes to the regulatory side of things. People want to, like, authorities want to protect people's private lives. So HIPAA actually is stepping in, and so this is kind of cool. So one thing I want to say here is that, let's say, I just realized in the past, a client will give me a package to deliver, and sometimes I'll be 5 minutes late, I'll be 10 minutes late, and I was like, it's only 10 minutes. Or let's say they'll give me something, and when I get to the clients, to the recipients, they'll ask me, did you tamper with this critical drug shipment? Because I'm like, no, I'm not really tampering with anything at all. I did not tamper with this, because I know it's important. So I'm just like, so one thing I've done is that I've actually shown to my clients that, hey, listen, I am HIPAA compliant, and actually printed a series of flyers, and I also beefed up my knowledge when it comes to HIPAA. Okay, so there's no regulation that says you have to have a HIPAA compliance if you are just a regular cargo van driver, or sprinter van driver, or box truck driver, or pickup driver, or a box, like whatever, you like a step van driver for that matter. But I still wanted to show to my client that, hey, listen, I am compliant with HIPAA. I understand everything about the law, and I just I really comply. The second thing I did was, if I like to retain medical clients, I started asking myself, why are some clients really wondering about my they'll ask me about my workplace conditions. I was like, do they think that I'm actually employing like illegal immigrants or whatever? And I'm like, no, because back in the days, like 3 months ago, not 3 months ago, 3 years ago, 3 to 2 years ago, I used to work with other freelancers, and I will hire drivers if we have like a lot of orders, and because I didn't want to lose those orders, right? Because it's important to actually, because I was thinking back then, I need to retain those clients, because I don't want them to believe I don't have capacity to handle whatever extra service they ask me. So I would hire those workers, and we'll be working our asses off. And the clients thought that we're not OSHA compliant. And since until then, I never heard about something called OSHA. I mean, I've heard the OSHA thing in debates, whatever. I'm like, okay, what the F is this? But OSHA is really important. I have come to realize that if you're going to be a medical courier, you better have a clear idea about OSHA. So OSHA stands for Occupational Safety and Health Administration. So this is basically an agency, a regulatory agency that actually places standards for employees and places of business. Okay, as a result, a workplace must be free of major hazards that could endanger personnel, right? So if you're a medical courier and you want to a courier, if you're working with freelancers, you want to make sure that those freelancers are treated fairly. I mean, I don't think that you have like a medical courier who wants to mistreat his or her workers. I mean, I wasn't doing that, and I don't know anybody in my vicinity that does that, in my entourage. But hey, listen, you want to be sure that you are showing the client that, hey, listen, I am HIPAA compliant, I am OSHA compliant, because the thing is, delivery services must adhere to all applicable laws required in the work environment and be compliant with OSHA law. And those services, including you, will listen to me. I mean, you must keep keep track of injuries, provide workers with the essential hazard information, and distribute the proper gear needed to do the job in a safe and reliable manner. So it was one of those things. I kind of struggled with that, but now I'm kind of fine. And the thing is that you want to make sure there's something called also like you have like you need to have guidelines within the description for 4215 concerning courier services. That's kind of critical. I found out that it was really, really important. The third thing I did was, and this really wow client, like clients were really happy about this. I just went back. I went back and I thought, okay, what can I do to actually make the clients feel special? Because I really wanted clients to feel special, even though back then they weren't paying me that much money. Because I was like, I think I was making $1 per mile, and because they were paying me like they were doing like RPM, even though I wanted to do like RPH, like rate per hour, or I wanted to do RPC, rate per contract, or RPL, rate per load, right? But the client wanted to have an RPM. Now the RPM is not good. You know why it's not good? The thing is that if you get stuck in traffic, for instance, you get stuck in traffic, there's something happening, construction, or have you on the highway, you get stuck in traffic, the client's paying you by the mile. So if you spend the whole day actually in traffic, you're getting paid you're getting paid the same amount anyway. Because can you imagine if the distance is 30 miles and you are being paid $1 per mile, and then you spend like 8 hours traveling a 30-mile distance because there's traffic or there is an accident, whatever. So you'll be paid $30 for 8 hours. And I was like, I can't sustain this. I have a family. I have food to put on the table. Children have to eat. I have to protect and care for my wife. All those things. I pay attention. So I started thinking about another strategy. So that's where I came up with the idea, and it worked fantastically, of take responsibility for protecting the client's business. So the thing is that basically I wanted to show my client that I was for real when it came to safeguarding their packages and their business. And also, I would tell them, listen, I actually pay attention to what you're giving me. Like, I have insurance, I have general liability, auto and non-owned auto. I have cargo policies. I have everything. Like, I have everything, and I wanted to show the client that, hey, listen, with me, you are cool. You are good to go, not a problem at all. And so that was a big decision time for me. It was a really, really big decision time for me to actually communicate that to the client, so the client can say, okay, I am prioritizing protection for my client's business, and because I know I'm not just protecting my business, but I'm doing two things at the same time, and that really worked fantastically. Another thing that I did was I actually focused like crazy on customer service, because see, I was like, how can I retain clients as a medical courier business owner? How can I do these things? I mean, back in the days, I had freelancers to work with me, freelancers, drivers, but now I'm just by myself, owner operator, single member owner operator, and I'm like, okay, how do I grow my medical courier business? How do I actually get more clients? So I said, you know what? I'm going to focus on customer service. I'm actually going to please my customers. I'm willing to take on any task to meet their needs, and I will treat every delivery with care, so that my clients, my shippers, know that their items are in good hands no matter what type of delivery has been made. That level of consistency, that's where the money is at. That's where the juice is at. Because I realized, what? It took me a while though. It took me a while. Sometimes I'll get a good client, and next month I will never hear from them again. I'm like, I had great service. I gave them what they wanted, but how come they're not calling me? And I know, I've done research that they still have shipments. How come they did not deem my medical courier business worthy of another trial? That's when I realized that I was not conducting myself professionally, which is one thing I also realized, because if you don't actually conduct yourself professionally, you're gonna have problems, right? Sometimes I'll go to the client's place. I'm not going I'm not gonna lie though. I wouldn't really comb properly. I wouldn't really shave, because I thought this was just like a delivery service. This is not like a beauty fashion, whatever. But those things, those little things are really, really important because the client is looking at everything. So the thing is that you want to ensure. So if you get hired by a client, you want to ensure that you meet the client's standards. And so you want everything accomplished in a correct and professional manner. And the thing is that I realized the connection. I realized the correlation between my conduct and the fact that it can have a negative reflection on the client's business, right? Because at the end of the day, those delivery drivers, like if I am a delivery drivers, I'm actually representing my client's business after all, because the clients, like I'm the one showing up at the recipient's place and delivering something on behalf of the clients. So the clients, they never say anything though. It was kind of funny. Like even though I was in good terms with some of them, none of them, I guarantee you. I mean, I was shocked. I was like, oh boy, holy moly, how come nobody ever told me this? And that's what happened. Where I said, okay, now I'm going to do things a little differently. Now I'm going to conduct myself professionally. I'm going to shave. I'm going to be always presentable. Like, you know what? I'll bring back the swag I had a couple of years ago, like the real swag. Because I was like, who wants to have a swag while driving professionally as a medical courier? Well, now I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I realize that it makes me feel good to know that I look fresh. And, that's kind of cool. So this is a good feeling that I want to replicate every single day anyway. And one thing I also did was that, in an attempt to retain clients as a medical courier business, I actually started making my service easy to use. The thing here is that, I realized back in the day that for a client to order from me, for a client to basically choose me as a courier, it was very complicated. I was actually present in all the directories, but I was never making money, like sustainable money, because I realized, I'm working my ass off like, and mind you, I wasn't working like 10 hours. I was working 12 hours. I was working 14 hours. Some days I wouldn't see my wife and children for many days. I'm like, oh man, I really miss being home. Spending time with the children, having a nice job with my sweetheart, getting laid. Like those things. I really needed to rebalance my hormones anyway, because those things were really starting to affect me. So I said to myself, I'm going to make my service very easy to use. So basically, I'm going to tell the client, like, let's say, for example, if I have a delivery that is a regular occurrence, whether a single stop or a series of pickup and delivery requests, I'm actually going to provide a more seamless experience for my clients and myself. I'm going to tell them up front, hey, listen, I'm available, let's say every Wednesday or every Thursday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So if you want me to do something for you, please let me know. And but I just realized that that's what I started doing originally. But then I realized that without technology, it wasn't going far. So I actually got like a real-time tracking software that I can integrate and I can use. So even if I'm actually driving, I always know that my service is very easy to use. It's very easy to use because the client has a way to book me, has a way to track the shipments, has a way to know that the items were delivered safe and clean, right? So that kind of an extra layer of reassurance helped me a lot retain clients as a medical courier business, and I'm very happy. Another thing that I did was, and that was it was a big change for me, like to be technology driven. The thing is that you have a lot of apps nowadays, and some apps they promise you this, they promise you that, and the last thing I wanted in my business was, hey, listen, I don't want no app to razzle dazzle me, tell me they can do all this stuff, whatever. I mean, they show you like 20 features, and I'm like, I only need 2 or 3 features. I don't need all of that. Like, I don't need all the fancy stuff that you talk about. I really don't need that. And sometimes, you kind of have this thing. So it took me a while. At the beginning, I was like, okay, if I want to retain clients as a medical courier business, which is my goal anyway, I have to really study the technology that will help me get there. See, the thing is that I'm very methodical. When I actually do my things, I'm very methodical. takes me some time to actually go as fast as possible. But once I go, oh, I'm going. Like, beginnings for me are always slow. But once I've gotten a right sense of rhythm, I can do a lot of stuff. I mean, back in the days, my parents used to say, well, you're like a turtle. But once you start walking, you are basically like an elephant or a rhino, whatever. I never knew what my mom meant with that metaphor. But hey, listen, I kept it in my mind. So I said to myself, I need to be technology driven if I want to be to retain clients as a medical courier business. So what I did was basically you have a lot of apps. You have a lot of technology platforms. You have software tools, okay, things that actually will help you out in terms of showing the clients that your delivery for them has been dispatched and delivered, as well as any alerts if drivers encounter, like if you are a driver, if I'm, the clients knows that if there are problems throughout the delivery. So the thing is that, and I realized that this was really, really good. I've used, I'm not going to give you the name of the software I use because we have another video on that topic, but in addition to a GPS tracking, barcode scanning, you also have electronic signature capture. You also have email notices of the status of the delivery. So those are really great things, great tools that actually help me actually get to the next level. And, since I adopted this technology, I never looked back. I was not an early adopter. I agree. I'm never an early adopter anyway. But once I actually incorporated that into my routine, I started seeing my medical courier business actually grow like crazy. You're talking about labs, you have hospitals, you have clinics, you also have like the pharmacies, the Walgreens of the world. You have all those big players. They started actually booking my services without me doing anything because I had established the foundation that I needed to establish to make sure that business will come as they like to say on YouTube, as passive income. It's not passive income because I have to wake my ass up every single day and start go to work anyway. One thing that I also did when it came to retaining clients as a medical courier business was that I actually I basically started paying attention to honesty. The thing here is that I realized that clients are placing a lot of trust in me, right? Because when you really think about it, a courier service is responsible for the client's business, or the client's package. So if something goes wrong during delivery, as a courier, you need to notify the clients and the consumer immediately. And as a courier, you also want to offer viable solutions and notify all parties involved so that there are no misunderstandings. Now, it's easier said than done, because sometimes you want to cover your ass, right? Because that communication has consequences. You might be sued, especially if it's a very sensitive medical, like a very sensitive medication. That you might be sued, you might be fired, you might lose your job, you might lose your business. And so a lot of folks in my entourage, at least in this industry, they don't see anything. But that's really bad. So you got to so for me, this is a big decision time to say, okay, am I honest with the clients, or I'm just going to continue the same life that I have so far? And I said, you know what? You don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to do that. At the end of the day, you want to be in a situation where you're constantly keeping your clients in the loop, but you want to do so honestly, right? You don't want to lie about anything at all. And so the bottom line, what I've learned through this experience is that if the clients feel protected, if the clients feels respected, if the clients feels like you are doing your job as a medical courier, they'll give you more work. All clients have more work. It's just that they trying to test you out, like they're trying to see if you can be a long-term solutions partner before they actually unveil to you all the other layers of all the other capabilities that they can use to actually make you make extra cash. So those are things I have learned. And the funny thing is, since I learned those things, I really never looked back, because I was like, wow, that's really an eye opener to actually have the realization that yeah. All those years, the clients were paying attention. Clients always pay attention. I mean, even children pay attention. So, if children are paying attention, what about parents? I mean, what about adults? What about clients who are adults who look at everything? So it was an eye opener. But I would say overall for me, the fact that I actually became a HIPAA compliant, I became a OSHA compliant, that I was seriously taking responsibility for protecting my client's business, that I was really focusing on customer service, that I was conducting myself professionally, that I was making my service very easy to use, that I was technology driven, that I was honest. Those things really helped me in the end retain clients as a medical courier business. And until today, I still have those clients. I've even added more.